Hey, welcome to Game Dev Weekly. If you're new here, I'm working on Hydroneer, a mining game where you dig for gold and other resources to build massive mining machines. And this week I'm going to be continuing on the work on the new map. If you haven't seen the last episode, you may want to go back and watch that, as this is the part 2 from that one. Okay, so we're back where we've left off. We've just started working on the new areas, as well as we've already got rid of everything else. So what you can see here is I'm just starting to put grass on some of the terrain here. I've marked out the roads with some of this lighter sand material, and now it's time for me to just paint on some of the grass features. You can see this is a pretty rough pass on the terrain. I'm essentially just trying to hit the flat bits, and then later on I'll go in with a finer tool, and any of the slope bits that need to stay brown, I will just erase the green out of them, and also add in some darker rock on the dirt. Okay, so I'd say right now we're looking at the terrain pretty much being about 90% finished. I still need to do a bit more material work, and also dig out the pits that the players will be able to dig into. Do things like these roads, they need to have the road pattern on them and not just dirt. I'm also going to be doing quite a few tests to make sure the vehicles move through the terrain relatively easily when they're going down these pathways. But that doesn't mean the work is finished quite yet. There is a lot to be done right here. Some of the things I've got to be doing is adding in the towns. I've got to add in all the stores. The foliage still needs to be added in, as well as the water. I need to create separate water channels. I need to add in some water near some of the actual dig sites as well. I need to sort out all of the voxel terrains for the digging in every area, as well as marking out which areas the players can build into. For sale signs when you are buying land, as well as all the points when you press unstuck, where do you actually go to. So the next thing I'm going to be cracking on with is a town just up here. There's going to be a small town here for one of the stock markets, but it'll also be some nice scenery as the player comes across the bridge. So what I've done here is a basic block out. I've added in these large white cubes to show where I'm thinking about putting these buildings. Now there's 2 ramps down here. There's one down to the creek over on this side and one down over to the rest of the map over here. And I want to make sure that the vehicle has enough space to kind of move around if they're going up and down. What I've also done is flatten out some of the terrain as well. So after I finish this, I'll go in and properly make sure the terrain looks nice around the buildings. I think after driving around for a little bit, I'm pretty happy with how these are placed down, and I'll go ahead and create the buildings. I've finished all my terrain. It's taken quite a few days, and that's probably why this video is going to be a little bit short. And I'm really happy with how it's come out. I've also been designing some of the towns as well. So this isn't finished just yet, but I really like this main town. This is where all the stores are going to be. There's also this large bone remains of some weird animal, and I've kind of tried to build the town around it. I think it's actually come out really cool, and I really like it. There's also a store in its rib cage. I still got to fill the stores with all their items, so there's going to be a rig store over here for all the vehicles. This one is going to be tools and equipment, and then this one over here is going to be housing. The sales store is over here, and then there's also going to be like a stock market in this mountain town over here, and one of them over in this town over here. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the map's going right now. The next thing to do after adding some things into the stores is to start on the foliage. I've done a few optimizations on how foliage is rendered in the game, and it's really bumped up the FPS by quite a bit. So I'm really happy to get started on that. It is a bit tedious and very time consuming, like everything is with map design. So I'm going to get on with that now. You can see here I'm doing some broad strokes of foliage. The foliage tool in Unreal Engine is essentially a way that you can place down thousands of objects very quickly. You choose the parameters about how they should be placed down, so things like the maximum angle that they can be placed down on, how many of them you place down in a certain brush, the random size scaling of each item as well. So I'm using this to place down thousands of instances of foliage. I'm starting out with all of the grass and bushes, and then later on I'm going to be doing the trees as well. I wanted to start with the grasses just because then you can see them a lot clearer without the trees in the way. You can see here that I'm eliminating all of the foliage that's kind of like sitting on the rocks where it doesn't really look right, and just kind of keeping it on the green parts of the terrain. After countless hours of work, extremely late nights, a complete terrain overhaul, and optimizations with FPS improvements by up to 122%. Finally, the new map is ready. I present to you the world of Hydroneer. Hey guys, just want to say thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that last bit. If you want to check out Hydroneer, then I've left some links in the description. First one is the Patreon link. The game is available right now on Patreon for a minimum of $2 a month. Or alternatively, you can wait for the Steam release in May. I've left the Steam page link there down below so you can add it to your wish list. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next week.